The whisper started the moment Cardi B uploaded the photos. This wasn't just any post. It was the kind of reveal that sends shockwaves rippling across social media, entertainment blogs, gossip forums, and fan circles who live for every detail of her life. After months of silence, Cardi suddenly dropped a carousel of images showing her newborn son wrapped snugly in a New England Patriots blanket, his tiny head covered by a matching cap. In the caption, she casually announced his name, Stefon Diggs, as if unaware the internet was about to explode. The name Stefon Diggs carried weight, history, and controversy, especially coming from Cardi. Fans who had followed her journey from Bronx strip clubs to Grammy stages knew exactly what that name meant. Cardi, once deeply connected to the gritty energy of New York's Brim gangs, was making a statement. Was it a tribute, a reclamation, something only she and the baby's father, NFL star Stefon Diggs, truly understood? The photos radiated peace and pride, but the comment sections quickly erupted into a frenzy of speculation, excitement, and swirling rumors that had been building for months. But what truly set the internet on fire wasn't the baby. It wasn't even the powerful name. It was the massive, unmistakably expensive diamond ring on Cardi's left hand, a ring that hadn't been there a few months ago, one that didn't match her usual jewelry, and looked very much like an engagement ring. Fans zoomed in on every pixel, posting cropped screenshots across X, Instagram, Reddit, and TikTok, with circles and arrows captioned, "Y'all, is Cardi engaged?" and "Look at that ring, OMG." Cardi said nothing about the ring in her caption. No confirmation, no denial, no acknowledgement, but just silence as she ignited the entertainment world's hottest conversation of the day. Fans, bloggers, and insiders scrambled to piece together the clues. Cardi B and Stefon Diggs are reportedly engaged, and now they've welcomed a child together, a baby boy whose name carries its own story. Stefon Diggs, the NFL superstar receiver known for his on-field talent and a complex romantic past, had been quietly linked to Cardi for nearly a year. Rumors of secret meetings, low-key trips, and late-night dinners in cities far from the paparazzi's gaze floated around the gossip world, but nothing was ever confirmed. Then, the unexpected happened. Cardi's pregnancy was kept under wraps until the very last moment. In an age when celebrity secrets leak faster than water from a cracked vase, their ability to keep this news hidden until the photos dropped was nothing short of remarkable. Fans were stunned, and there in the images was little Stefon Diggs, peacefully wrapped in a New England Patriots blanket, a subtle nod to Stefon's current team. The conversation quickly shifted from excitement over the baby to speculation about the ring, the relationship timeline, a potential wedding, and the drama that seems to follow Cardi wherever she goes. Cardi has never hidden her wish for her children to grow up in a stable, united home. She's spoken openly about her mother's traditional values, her own upbringing, and her desire for stability despite the chaos of fame and fortune. Fans were aware she'd been working to finalize her divorce from Offset for months. What they didn't know was why it was taking so long. Offset, the rapper who was once her greatest love and her deepest source of pain, the man who gifted her lavishly, stood by her rise and fathered 3 children with her, was now refusing to sign the divorce papers. The man who shaped so much of her past was standing in the way of her future happiness. Some said Stefon was furious over Offset's refusal to sign the divorce papers. Others believed he was giving Cardi the emotional space she needed to handle all the chaos. But everyone agreed on one thing: Stefon was all in. He wanted a future with her, no doubt about it. Then, another layer of the conversation emerged, revealing the darker side of internet commentary. A portion of social media zeroed in on the baby's skin tone. Many fans immediately noticed that little Brim appeared darker than Cardi's other children. While some celebrated his beautiful complexion, calling him stunning, adorable, and perfect, others veered into colorist territory, a persistent problem in entertainment, especially for Black and Afro-Latina women. One comment on Rhymes with Snitch said, "That baby is brown. I wonder how it's going to be to have one child that don't look like the others." The comment quickly spread, sparking fierce debates about ignorance, internalized racism, colorism, and the harm of comparing children from blended families. Some defended the comment as simply a biological observation, but many others condemned it as unnecessary and hurtful. Cardi's supporters rallied hard, reminding everyone that children inherit different features, that beauty shines in every shade, and that comparing siblings, especially through a racial lens, is cruel and unfair. For Cardi, though, this moment, the arrival of her son, was meant to be joyful. She wanted peace, stability, and the chance to move forward. She wanted to raise baby Brim free from the shadow of her past marriage. She wanted to publicly confirm her engagement to Stefon without any legal roadblocks. She wanted to finally close the chapter with Offset in a way that wouldn't break her emotionally or financially. But life, especially at Cardi's level of fame, is never simple. Every choice becomes a debate. Every photo turns into evidence. Every silence breeds speculation. Still, through it all, Cardi keeps moving forward. Friends close to her say she's deeply in love with Stefon, not because he's an athlete or a celebrity, but because he's been a steady presence during one of the most turbulent times in her life. He supported her throughout the pregnancy, shielded her from unnecessary noise, and helped create a safe space for her to prepare for motherhood once again. That engagement ring she wore in the photos? It wasn't a prop or a subtle hint. It was real and intentional. Cardi wasn't showing off. She was sharing her truth in her own unapologetic style and on her own terms. But the legal battle with Offset still looms large. There will be no wedding until he signs the papers, or until a judge overrides his refusal and finalizes the divorce. Cardi's legal team is reportedly working to speed up the process, arguing that Offset is holding the divorce documents hostage to demand money he isn't legally entitled to. If the court sides with Cardi, she could be free sooner than expected. If not, this fight could drag on for months. For now, the world watches as Cardi B steps into a new chapter filled with hope, uncertainty, love, and conflict. She has a newborn son with a powerful name, a committed partner by her side, and an engagement ring symbolizing her dream of a stable family, something she's always wanted. But she also has a past that refuses to let go quietly. A man who once shared her life and now tries to control her future, and a public that scrutinizes her every move. Despite all the chaos, one thing remains clear. Cardi B has never backed down from a fight. Whether in music, life, or love, she has built an empire fueled by resilience, charisma, raw honesty, and an unbreakable spirit. Now, as the world watches her navigate motherhood, an engagement, and a stubborn divorce, fans know one thing for sure. Whatever comes next, Cardi will face it head-on, just as she always has. Cardi's past relationship with Offset was never simple, never quiet, and never predictable. It was the kind of relationship that made headlines effortlessly, lived out publicly even when they begged for privacy, and captured the world's attention, even when it seemed to be unraveling in real time. Their chemistry was undeniable, but so were their struggles. Now, as Cardi works to build a new life with Stefon Diggs, the weight of that old relationship still lingers like smoke she can't quite clear away. A constant reminder of everything she's survived and all she still needs to untangle before moving forward freely. Offset wasn't just an ex, he was a massive, messy chapter that refuses to close easily. Their relationship began with intensity. Cardi was rising fast in hip-hop, becoming a cultural powerhouse with Bodak Yellow, while Offset, as part of Migos, was dominating charts and clubs worldwide. They came together quickly, their energy magnetic and impossible to ignore. But fans didn't see the quiet beginnings. They only witnessed the fireworks that followed. The surprise engagement on stage, the wedding, the pregnancy announcement, the public declarations of love mixed with scandals. Cardi loved fiercely, Offset lived wild. Between those extremes, their relationship found life but also cracks. The troubles began with infidelity. Cardi initially downplayed rumors, denying reports, and wanting to protect her family from public scrutiny. She refused to let gossip define her or her loved ones. But the truth became impossible to hide as videos, messages, and allegations emerged one after another. Women came forward with claims, screenshots leaked, timelines were posted, and fans dissected every detail. Cardi endured public humiliation few experienced firsthand, with millions watching her heartbreak unfold live. Offset apologized on stage, crashed her performances, begged for forgiveness, showered her with extravagant gifts, and tried every grand gesture to win her back. Because Cardi never stopped loving him, she kept trying. Against advice, against her own pain, against the world urging her to walk away. She wanted her family to stay intact. She wanted to believe he could change. She longed for stability, loyalty, and the traditional family values her mother instilled in her. Cardi didn't just want a partner, she wanted a teammate. But Offset kept falling into the same patterns: distractions, cheating rumors, disappearing during arguments, leaving Cardi feeling like she was fighting alone. She'd leave, come back, leave again, try again, cry again. The cycle became exhausting, almost expected, a painful rhythm of breakups and reunions. Behind closed doors, the fights were different from the public drama. Cardi didn't just feel betrayed, she felt disrespected. She sensed her success intimidated him, that her fame shifted their dynamic in ways he struggled to accept. She felt his resentment toward her independence and dominance in the industry. Offset, used to being the star in his own world, found himself overshadowed by Cardi's unstoppable rise. Fans adored her, brands chased her, and the media hung on her every move. Even performing with Migos, much of the attention followed Cardi. It wasn't intentional on her part, but it created tension. Some insiders say Offset battled insecurity. Others believe he simply took her for granted. Whatever the truth, the imbalance created cracks that only widened with time. Still, they share children, a bond neither can fully break. Cardi always said she wanted her kids to grow up in a household with married parents. She tried to make it work for them, to keep their family intact despite the storms. She swallowed her pain, focusing on the bigger picture, but every effort seemed met with another disappointment, another rumor, another argument, a reminder that she deserved better. The more Cardi tried to make things work, the clearer it became that the relationship wasn't healing. It was draining her. The turning point came quietly, not in a scandal or headline, but in a moment of clarity. Cardi realized she couldn't live in uncertainty any longer. She couldn't keep forgiving someone who refused to change. So, she filed for divorce. Fans braced for the usual cycle, expecting another reconciliation. But this time, it wasn't just heartbreak, it was her breaking free. Offset didn't take it well. Instead of letting her go with dignity, he turned the process into a battle. He refused to sign the papers unless Cardi handed over half of her net worth, the empire she had built from the ground up. It wasn't about money, it was about control, leverage, and clinging to the last bit of power he had left over her life. The irony was painful. This was the same man who had publicly humiliated her time and again, the same man she helped elevate through features and collaborations, whose career benefited from standing beside her. Now, he was trying to punish her financially for leaving. Cardi was devastated, not because she feared losing money, but because this showed her exactly who he became when the love ended. She had hoped for a peaceful split for the sake of their children. Instead, she found herself trapped in a legal battle, stuck in a marriage she had already left emotionally. Then came Stefon Diggs. Quiet, steady, respectful, and present. Unlike Offset, Stefon didn't try to dim Cardi's light. He wasn't threatened by her fame or trying to compete with her. He showed up when it mattered, supporting her through the pregnancy with their son, Brim Diggs. He shielded her from unnecessary attention and made sure she felt truly valued for the first time. Their connection grew in the privacy Cardi had always dreamed of. She found comfort, peace, and partnership, things she'd begged Offset for over the years but never received. With Stefon, affection was mutual from day one. She didn't have to chase it or prove her worth. But Cardi's past didn't let go easily. Offset's refusal to finalize the divorce delayed the public announcement of her engagement to Stefon. He demanded a payoff she refused to give, turning their split into a standoff, a final remnant of a relationship long dead. Stefon stayed supportive, understanding why wedding plans had to wait. He wasn't angry, just determined to help Cardi build a future her past couldn't disrupt. Meanwhile, Offset seemed stuck in denial. Some say he was angry she moved on so quickly. Others say regret hit too late. Some believe his attempt to hurt her financially was his way of holding on to control. Whatever the reason, their problems didn't end with their breakup. They followed Cardi into her next chapter, threatening the new life she wanted. Still, Cardi kept pushing forward. She wasn't the young woman who cried over rumors. She wasn't the wife desperately trying to fix something breaking her apart. She wasn't the partner who thought loyalty meant enduring pain. This Cardi is stronger, wiser, and more grounded in her worth. She learned the hard truth. Love shouldn't hurt repeatedly, and sometimes the bravest thing a woman can do is walk away, even when everyone expects her to stay. Her relationship with Stefon embodies everything Offset never gave her: transparency, peace, stability, and respect. But the ghosts of her past still cast shadows, reminders of heartbreak and lessons learned. Until the divorce is finalized, she lives in that uneasy in-between, where love exists but legal freedom does not. Yet Cardi moves forward because she's always been a fighter. She survived poverty, hate, criticism, heartbreak, scandals, and betrayal. She knows how to rebuild. She knows how to rise. No matter how complicated her past was, it no longer defines her future. With Stefon by her side and a new baby in her arms, Cardi B is stepping into a chapter shaped not by pain, but by possibility. Even if her ex's unresolved issues try to pull her back, Cardi has made one thing clear. She's not going backwards. Not for a man, not for money, not for drama, nothing. The past can watch from a distance, but it will never control the woman she has become.